On this episode of Baby Oh Baby Go, Baby Oh Baby Go, Baby Oh Baby Go. Hey y'all! So I am making Baken Tuscan Chicken for my little one. And y'all, this is my first time making Baked Tuscan Chicken. I have never made it or I've never eaten it. I don't think I've ever eaten it. And if I did, I didn't know I was eating it. But it was good nevertheless. I'm definitely going to make this recipe again. But this is my very first time making it. So, did I follow the recipe 100%? Of course not. But, I am pretty good at kind of realizing that certain things don't need to be an exact science, even though certain things are an exact science. I didn't think this recipe was. So I was like, I think I have some wiggle room. So as you can see, I'm cutting up 2 cloves of garlic, and I did have a little difficulty peeling this garlic, and I had a little difficulty cutting it. But, nevertheless, I did enough to get the job done, okay? And, while I was peeling this garlic, it ended up making me think of the time that I was at work and this girl, I think she had eaten garlic the night prior because she smelled like straight garlic. And because I was pregnant during that time, I could literally smell her from a distance. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can't take it. I'm literally going to vomit because this girl smells like straight up garlic. And it's of no fault of her own because, she can't help that I was pregnant and my nose senses were like spidey senses. Like I could smell everything. And so I was like, I don't mean to be, a bother, but could you step away just a wee bit? That's what I said in my head. Of course, I didn't tell her that because I was training her, and that's rude. But sometimes I want it to be rude, but I didn't. I just let it slide. But anyway, cutting up that garlic just reminded me of that moment and how any smells were just not pleasant to me. And y'all, as you can see now, I'm cutting up, what were these things called? Sun-dried tomatoes. This is my first time also dealing with sun-dried tomatoes, and I didn't know these things even existed, I'm not gonna lie. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. They look more like peppers versus tomatoes, number one. And why are they in so much oil if they're sun-dry? Shouldn't they be dry? So I was expecting them to be dry. I got that brand from Target, and I was like, this is what the recipe calls for, so I'm going to use it. I didn't know what it tasted like, but something told me to make sure that I get as much of that oil into my dish. So as you can see, I'm about to cut up the spinach, and I made sure to cut it right on top of where all that oil and juice is from the sun-dried tomatoes. And I did that so that way it could kind of suck it all up and I can make sure all that juice is in there because I wanted my food to be very, very seasoned. And I just assumed that the sun-dried tomatoes was one of the ways it was going to be seasoned because I know it wasn't going to be the spinach. Spinach don't taste like nothing to me. That's why you see me got a big chunk and handful. And this is where I also didn't follow the recipe because I was kind of reading it and trying to record and trying to cook. And so I didn't really put it together that I was supposed to wait to put the spinach in till the last 5 minutes of cooking it. I just put it in with everything. And y'all, it does not make a difference, okay? And if it did, I didn't notice. But you can put it all together and you'll get the same results. Don't follow the recipe. If you see a recipe that has baked Tuscan chicken and it tells you in the last 5 minutes of cooking, then put the spinach on, don't do that. Just cook it all at the same time. You will get the same results, okay? And see, I didn't realize that till it was already on the chicken that I did not follow the recipe. So that was, my bad. Oh no, I think I have to sneeze. Oh no, it went away. Okay, so anyways, I cut all these up and then I was like, I don't know, what am I supposed to do next? I had no clue, y'all. So I went back farther and looked at the recipe again. I was like, okay, heavy whipping cream. And y'all, the recipe called for heavy cream. I did not know that heavy whipping cream and heavy cream are the same thing. Because I thought whipping cream was used to make whipped cream. I didn't know that you could use it in other stuff. Don't ask me why, but that's really what I thought. I was like, I don't see heavy cream. So I literally looked online. I was like, is heavy cream heavy whipping cream? And I found out that it was. So I was like, okay, good. Because I didn't want this to come out sweet. I'm like, I don't want no sweet chicken. Like, I'm not making, sweet and sour chicken. I want it to have flavor, like a robust flavor. And I didn't think sweet and tomato kind of went together. That's just my opinion. Granted, when I make my chili and stuff like that, I do like for my chili to be sweet. So that is kind of a contradiction in what I just said. But, nevertheless, I didn't want my chicken tomato. I don't know, something in my head said this shouldn't be sweet, so that's why I was like, I don't want to use heavy whipping cream because that's gonna make it sweet, but it didn't. I said all that to say it didn't. And y'all, I hate this salt shaker. I will never buy one of those again. The ones that you have to keep twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting, it drives me absolutely insane, and I never know how much salt I really put in my food. I'm really just guessing. So, anyways, back here, I ended up putting some Parmesan in it because that's what the recipe called for. And the recipe called for cornstarch. Y'all, I went to the store because I literally went to the store to buy all these ingredients, but I could not find cornstarch. So I was like, you know what? Flour it is. So I just used regular flour. I did look online, and it did say that you can use a flour as a substitute for cornstarch. I didn't know how true it was, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to wing it, and I'm going to hope for the best. And that's what I did. So I just, whatever it said to use a tablespoon of cornstarch, I used a tablespoon of flour. And y'all, it still came out good. So, just saying that. And then, I was reading some of the comments on that recipe, and a lot of the people were like, it needed more sauce because I wanted it on my noodles, and my noodles didn't have enough sauce. So they're like, make sure you double the sauce and double everything. And I was like, I'm not doing that, first of all. But then I started thinking, I was like, you know what? I do like a lot of sauce too, but I'm not putting it on noodles. I was just going to put it on the side of like some rice. And so that's what I did. So I didn't really need a whole bunch of sauce. But then I was like, maybe I do want to add sauce just in case I change my mind. So, I started adding more ingredients here and there. And y'all, look at my chicken. Doesn't it look beautiful? Not really, I know. But I cut them in half. These were like 4 chicken breasts. I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did not need to count that, but I ended up cutting it and getting 8 little slices because I cut them in half. They were so fat. And once again, you see me using that horrific salt shaker thingamabob that I really, really don't like. But anyways, they tell you to season your chicken, and they're like, just season one side. And I'm like, who made this recipe? Because why would you just season one side of your chicken? Something about that didn't seem right to me. So guess what I did? I seasoned both because I'm like, I don't want one part of my chicken seasoned, not the other part. I want it seasoned through and through. Like, I want the flavor. I want all the flavor. So I don't see the point of seasoning like half of your chicken and not turning it over and seasoning the other half. So absolutely not. I season both sides. But do whatever you prefer. If you don't like a lot of seasoning, then just season one side. That is what the recipe said. And like I said before, I didn't follow the recipe 100%. I followed it like, 70, 80%. And, that worked for me. So as you can see, I'm flipping it over. And y'all, my pan turned yellow, and it turned yellow because I was making lemon pepper chicken, and for some reason the lemon pepper marinade that I bought from Walmart, it's the Great Value brand, so that marinade turned my pan yellow. And I was like, what kind of marinade is this that turns metal yellow? Or better yet, what kind of pan is this? Because I got that pan, I think it's a Winston pan that you get over in the baking section when you're supposed to, maybe I was only supposed to use it for cakes. Maybe that's why it turned colors. I don't know, but nevertheless, it turned my pan yellow, and I've washed it multiple times, and I haven't been able to get the yellow tinge out. So I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's not hurting anything. At least I hope not. I really don't know. But anyway, so I turned it back. I ended up turning some of the chicken back over, and then I was like, why in the world am I turning this chicken back over? I already seasoned the other side. I don't really know what I was thinking on that part, but as you can see, I added the paprika, the salt, the pepper, the same thing that I pretty much added in my whatever that sauce I made. I added it on the chicken for the most part. Yeah, for the most part. And then I started realizing, why am I flipping this chicken over? So I did a few more, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. So then I stopped. And then I'm about to add all the sauce in. Look how beautiful it looks. Like, I was kind of surprised by how good it looked. I'm just saying. But nevertheless, I made sure to get every nook and cranny because I wanted it to be as saucy as possible because, you know, the comments had got in my head. And I'm like, see, now watch, I should have listened to these people when they said double the recipe. And I didn't double the recipe. I just kind of partially doubled the recipe. I partially did, I partially didn't. I kept adding stuff. So I did make more sauce than what the recipe originally required. But nevertheless, you know, this is how I did it, and this is what worked for me. Do what works for you. And y'all, so I put it in the oven and, you know, bada boom, bada bing, bada bing. I don't know why we actually had to put the foil on it, but that's what the recipe said, so that's what I did. So I put the foil on the pan like so, like that. Put it in the oven, and I think they said after like 5 minutes, take the foil off. So I took the foil off, and this is what it looked like. Y'all, I was shocked when I took that foil off. I was like, okay, I'm getting somewhere. And y'all, this is the final result. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous that you can't eat any, okay? And I ate most of it, okay? My son, he actually ate this, some of it. Not a lot, but enough to say that I think he would eat it again. So I will be making it again. But nevertheless, this is my baked Tuscan chicken. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye.